Hello.
Good morning, Russell. It's Rowan from Silver Tiger Media. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well indeed. I'm sorry, sir, Russell.
Yeah. Back in my dining days. Yeah, sure.
Indeed. Tremendous to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Pleasure indeed. From the outset, do you miss jousting?
I miss the horses sometimes,
Absolutely.
I don't miss doing the jousting part. I definitely miss the guys. I'm still very close with them. I'm close with all the knights of the realm that I used to work with back in those days. And matter of fact, I just went camping with a couple of them and their families over the weekend.
Oh, brilliant.
So we still do stuff together, and but if I think any of us got up on a horse again, it would be an instant visit to the hospital. But
oh no! It's the stuff of legend, really. I can't think of a better job that could coincide with your music.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was pretty perfect fit.
Absolutely. Congratulations on Underworld. It's truly epic. Absolutely brilliant stuff. What's the central theme of the album?
Well, it's kind of a modern day spin on a literally classic Dante's Inferno. It's about a guy going into hell or the underworld to get his love back, his wife or his true love. But we didn't really clarify what it is. It's just his woman. And so we always keep the lyrics kind of open ended, so it could be. You could stick whatever character you want in there, male, female, anybody, so it can relate to everybody, But that's really what it's about. It's about this person going into the underworld to get their love back, and that's really what the whole story is about.
Magnificent. Look, from the lyrics, excuse me, to the riffs, the blistering percussion, it's supremely magnificent, and your voice is better than ever before. Something new, so powerful and supremely commanding. Is there anything different to your voice, or have you just reached new heights of sheer brilliance?
Probably the latter, I would say. The thing with my singing these days is that I've just been singing. I didn't disappear this time, and I've been busy doing. Of course, I started Adrenaline Mob, and I was out touring with that, and I got into TSO a couple of years ago. Been doing some project work and working with some really great artists and stuff, and that's kind of been my secret this time around. It's just staying in the game and keeping myself in shape, and that's why I was able to come in and sing this whole record in 8 days and just really kill it. I was really super creative, and did all the tracking. Everything, soup to nuts, man, 8 days. And poor Mike, he just hates me because it takes him, 5 years to write the stuff. But,
Indeed. And look,
but the thing is, I know him so well. So by the time he needs me to come down and start working with him for his melodies and lyrics and putting all the lyrics together with him and, saying, well, these are my lines, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then I could just work with that and boom. Because I'm on another level now, especially after doing, the records with the other Mike. We write stuff as a writing duo, so it's back and forth, and we'll finish out music. It's a lot more. It's a very basic song arrangement, of course. The Mob is simple stuff in comparison to Symphony X, but the meat and potatoes is still the same: a verse, a chorus, a pre-chorus, a release or a bridge or whatever. So, getting those parts written so quickly and understanding and really being open and hearing better, and absorbing people's ideas and being open-minded to things and stuff, that's really helped me. And so coming into this record, I told Romeo, I was like, hey, this isn't the old days, man, where I'm going to be sitting around for hours trying to think of something. It's just there. I can grab it quick. It's like catching a big fish. I just throw the hook in the water and boom, we're gone. So hang on, because here we go. So that's kind of like how I work now. I'm really just keying in on channeling, if you will, those ideas and those things that are coming in so fast, and I just throw them down really fast, and before you know it, the session's over with, and we've got something.
And something hugely successful too. A brilliant job. I can't believe that it's.
Yeah, I'm blown away by the record too. I mean, when I was working with them on it, I heard all the stuff. I'm like, well, this is really good. I mean, I wonder what they're going to do. A lot of times the guys will go after me, you know.
Mm.
And when I heard the album, I was like, you know, I was in shock a little bit. I was just like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
This is like something I thought of. I knew it was going to be good, but the performances by everybody in the band are so, they gel so well together. Nobody's like sticking out or, you know, or trying to be seen, or it's just a band. It's just like a really solid record. And the songs and stuff. And you could just tell there's a maturity on this album, and these are a bunch of guys that have played together for a real long time. It just has a thing, man. There's something about it, you know, and I got to say I'm really proud of the band and the performances on this record. It's the best, I think, of them all.
Must be, indeed.
Tasty, note selection, and just changes of, you know, just everything. Brilliant.
I'm glad you say all that. I only just finished a review in the last couple of days, and when you isolate each individual musicians and your performance, it's absolutely amazing. But as you say, everybody gels together. Everyone's lifted it to such a supreme level. It's quite incredible. Yeah,
I agree. That's something I've been, you know, delighted by listening to the album. There are songs that grab you. There's some earworm material there, and that's the hook thing that I love to do. It's melodic hook in the riff work as well.
Yes.
That's really cool. But it's the staying power of these songs and how this record grows on you and how you want to listen to these songs again and again. Kind of reminds me of like an old Van Halen album. You know, I always would go buy a Van Halen record and I'd be like, yeah, this is good. Oh man, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, you know, 2 or 3 listens later, I just couldn't get enough of it. You know, and that's kind of like how this record reminds me of that kind of thing. It's a real album. I mean, people aren't really making albums anymore. But
agreed.
That's kind of working to our advantage as well. So,
absolutely. And the lyrics of the stuff of legend. I mean, just to quote one, I've been betrayed by the angel of death and the serpent who stole their last breath. Throughout the album are just such memorable lyrical highlights. How long was the album in the works? Was it a full 5 years of writing?
I would say 2, really. I mean, you know, Mike doesn't do well when we're touring. So if we have any shows on the books, it just doesn't work for him. He can't have any pressure or whatever. Or I don't know if it's pressure or what, but we've talked about it several times. I never get a straight answer from him. But basically it's just he can't focus on that and be, oh God, we got a gig in a month or whatever. I got to practice for that because, you know, they do have to practice a lot. And he has to stop his writing and start rehearsing, and then he's out of the loop with the writing vibe. And he's like, where was that idea? Where did I leave off? It really is hard to pick up on something a month or 2 down the road, you know. Yeah. So he just works straight through, you know, and just he eats, breathes, and lives it, you know, until it's done. And so that's how the albums operate, and he can't do anything else in between. And luckily, you know, I've been able to keep busy and, you know, keep my voice in shape and keep going and stuff, and that's helped out a lot this time around for sure.
Indeed. Besides your 4 albums you produced with the Alan Lande project, you spent some time with Trans-Siberian Orchestra on tour?
Yeah, that's great. You know, again, I have no creative thing going on in that group. I'm just a part of the band, and I sing the songs that they've written and stuff. But again, it's a performance level on such a high level. You know, performance on such a high level. That's another thing I just, you know, glad I got involved in because it just shows me, it teaches me a lot of things. It teaches this old dog a few new tricks. You know, how to perform on those giant stages and working with big production and being able to gel with a bunch of super A-list musicians. I mean, these guys are all just killer, you know, players. And I did some work with Joe Oster on the side. He's in Whitesnake now, but I had the pleasure of, you know, recording some tunes with him. And I like working with as many artists as I can on the downtime because it just keeps my mind going, keeps you creative, keeps you busy. So when I come back to So around doing these Symphony X records, I'm fresh. I could sing well. I can hit every note. I'm not getting tired in the studio. You know, to get the whole thing done, like I said, in 8 days was because I'm in shape, physically, emotionally, mentally. I can focus and get things done. When you're a kid, I mean, my God, me and Mike must have wasted so many hours playing video games. You know, we could have wrote 100 records back then.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's funny. It's funny how time changes. And, of course, you know, you get families and stuff. I've got kids. Mike's got kids. We all have kids pretty much several upon. And, you know, that kind of changes everything. And your time gets a little more crunched and stuff. So that's really what's been another thing. Is families get a priority, of course, with the time, and so the records have taken a little longer to get done. But when they are done, obviously, this one, to say the least, is, I feel, one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in terms of song strength throughout the entire record. So it's definitely a labor of love.
Most certainly, and paid off beautifully. Look, Russell, I'm surprised you get time to sleep at all with everything you've got going on.
It isn't that much, to be honest with you. I'm more run down with my little 5-year-old son who just turned 5 yesterday, and my daughter. Then, you know, keeping up with them is a lot harder than keeping up with my music career, because it's just kind of that. My music career is, huh? I'm sorry. What did you say?
I'm sorry. I said I'm with you there 100%. I've got a 3-year-old that keeps me on my toes as well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, you know, I'm a proud papa, and I'm actually, you know, constructing a playset for my son in the shape of a pirate ship. He's on a pirate, so we're building that in the backyard, and build a swing set for the kids. I'm pretty good with tools and building stuff, and so I enjoy it, and I'm trying to teach my son how to have fun with a piece of wood instead of taking it to the toy store every day. You know, I want a toy, Daddy. I said, well, look, you can make this. You know, so he's learning, but. Back in my day, my old man taught me how to build a go-kart out of wood and all sorts of cool stuff. So I'm trying to pass it along, but that takes more of my time than anything. The music career, you know, it's on the rails and it's going down the road. You know, the rails there. It's going down the old path. So I mean, a lot of stuff that I do, if I do project work or something like that, it's a day or two. You know, that's it. And it's like, okay, well, that one's done. What, is there anything else? No? Okay. I'm going to go play with my son now, and my daughter. See you later. You know.
Oh, it's brilliant. Really... Back to being a great dad.
Yeah, it's fun. I got the studio I built back in my backyard, so I do a lot of work right out of the house and stuff. So I've been pretty fortunate in that regard. The touring, of course, is hard. That's what sucks. And staying away, you know, the past couple of years with TSO has been hard, and the mob touring was also taking me away from home, but not enough to where I mean, my goodness, some of these other acts, and really successful acts, I mean, they're out on the road for a year or two straight. I mean, that's never been me. I've always been able to get enough time at home and keep my relationship going and my family going. So that's real important to me.
Wonderful. And look, in your busy schedule, what are the chances of an Australian tour with Symphony X in the near future?
Well, that's what we're talking about. So, I mean, I'm looking next year being really busy with Symphony X, and we all are excited about the responses we're getting from this record. And I just want to put on a great show. You know, I really do. I really want to add, you know, some production to this band's show. We've been talking about it and trying to raise the bar. And seeing, you know, what we can achieve here, and so, you know, sky's the limit, of course, but we need fans to get out there and buy the record and support us, so we can get the money we need to get a good show out there. That's really what it boils down to. The tour, the albums, they're nothing more than a vehicle for us to get out and play for you guys. So that's what we're hoping for. We're really excited about the response so far. So we're hoping that once the album drops, people are going to put their money where their mouth is, go out and support the act, and then Symphony X will be able to do a full world tour. We are in talks about going down there. We're just trying to get some dates around the Australian run, like New Zealand, of course, and also Japan and maybe Hawaii, other Pacific, shows. So when we make that flight, we try and get as many in there as we can. on that side of the world. So that's insane.
Wonderful. Oh, so look, we'll be plugging the album as much as we can. It's literally going to be a benchmark of not only progressive metal, but also traditional metal fans are going to love it. And anybody who's interested in heavy rock at all, it's just going to be an absolute ongoing favourite. Russell, I hope so. Yeah, I really have been busting for an opportunity to speak to you. I'd love to keep going. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Can I thank you very much for your time today, and congratulations again on Underworld. It's magnificent work.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your support, and hopefully with your support and others like you, we can get down there and at least play some festivals down there for you guys and get on the stage down there and rock out, because I've been dying to go there. I know the band's really excited to go to Australia, so thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure indeed, and we can't wait to see you here. Fingers crossed it won't be too far away.
Okay.
Thanks
for
very
sure
much,
next year,
Russell.
my brother.
All the best to the family,
and thanks
for your time. Thank you, you too.
Oh, you too, man. All right,
bye-bye.
cheers.